Welcome to the All About TRH podcast, aka All About the Real Housewives, aka All About the Truth. It's the wedding we've been talking about for the last year, Teresa and Louie's wedding special, and we give you our thoughts and why we wish Margaret Josephs never attended. Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
Oh my gosh, did you see that reunion?
Oh my God, I have so much to say on that.
Well, I just have to say that every single thing that AllAboutTRH reported about the reunion was shown on the preview. So again, for all the haters, for anybody who was doubting us, absolutely everything that we said happened was shown on the preview. And this has been year after year where we come and we deliver. But I kind of was underwhelmed, I will say, watching the reunion. I was a little bit underwhelmed. And I do think it had to do with, because I've talked to so many people. And, you know, I think what happened, and I talked to a producer who is friends with someone who's still involved with the show. And they did say that so much was happening that I feel like the producers or the editors or whoever, it was very overwhelming for them to edit it and present it to everybody. So I could see maybe why that was, the reunion just came across underwhelming. Did you feel that or no?
No, I didn't feel like it was underwhelming because this is what the whole season has been about, is between those two. So I don't know. I mean, I think there was great moments like Jennifer's, little funny zingers, and you can see Teresa and Lizardo going at it. Like, it just, to me, it seems like we're going to probably be annoyed watching it because we're over them, but I feel like it's going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's going to be good, but I also I don't know, just because.
Or maybe because we know everything that's happening.
No,
Maybe that's why.
No, I absolutely don't think that. I think because we know everything that's happening, because things like BravoCon didn't get discussed. And there was a lot of moments of Andy just yelling at Teresa and Louie. And I was like, okay, this is so annoying because I don't know, he snapped at them multiple times. I'm like, okay, great. This is how it's going to go. So I definitely didn't like that. It was really sad. And we've already discussed this. You guys have to go listen back to our podcast where we spilled the reunion tea episode. There's 3 parts, but there's one main one. So go back and listen. But it was just really sad to see Frank. And I like Frank, but it did make me sad because, again, we were with all of them in the end of February for that event that we went to. And Frank was on great terms with Louie. They filmed the reunion April 20th, my birthday. Hey. Yeah. And so they filmed it on my birthday. They were still good. I'm pretty sure they even hung out after that. And then for Frank to turn so quick just because Princess Gorga told him to. And we see throughout the episodes, throughout the season, Princess Gorga says a lot of stuff about Louie, and they all kind of just back him. But what was the most embarrassing part, cringe, was Bart, not Bart Simpson. He looks like a Simpson character. And I'm saying this in a nice way because I feel like he's a nice guy. I don't know. But John Fuda. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm like, who are you talking about?
He really does look like someone sent me something about him. And it's so mean. But someone did send me something about a Simpson. I don't think anything's wrong with the Simpsons, but he does look like the Simpson. There's a lot of people who looks like Cindy Lou from The Grinch or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, Bart Simpson or whatever, he was talking more than a man should on a Real Housewives reunion for your first season.
1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gives me Alex McCourt's husband's vibes. Did you get that?
Who's Alex McCourt?
From Real Housewives of New York.
Oh, I don't remember her.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay,
I forget these people.
I thought you did a rewatch recently. But
no, I never rewatched it. I just watched it for the first all in one time.
It just gives me thirst.
Oh my God! That's from the first 3 seasons. She was one of the OGs. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me her husband vibes. It's too much.
Listen, this is how I feel is they all sat down on a Friday night and like losers because they have nothing else to do, and just we're all brainstorming ideas on how to take them down, what angle should we go into, and what they came up with is let's attack Louie, and that seems very clear in this reunion trailer.
Because the only person who didn't say anything was Nate, and obviously Nate wasn't involved with that. So it was like people that Princess Gorka knew he could recruit and say, and obviously Princess Gorka, he is very fame hungry. I mean, him and Frank are pitching a show, which like good for them. Pitch a show so that you guys could be, so that Princess could be off this show. But I don't know. I just know that we're gonna go into the reunion and it's gonna be all about Teresa and Melissa. And I don't want it to be all about Teresa, Melissa, and Louie. I just don't. So, and then Margaret's gonna be there here and there. Jennifer might. I mean, we did see the Jacqueline thing with Andy. Andy went in a little hard and he was like, that's rich that you believe Jacqueline when you've like said whatever about her. But it's like, again, as we discussed, Jacqueline and Teresa said a lot of things when they weren't friends. But I mean, it like I believe Jacqueline as well.
I feel like Andy goes hard on the people he knows that can take it, and he always likes to do that with Teresa. It's annoying.
Yeah, because if Teresa came back and was like, "You're being disrespectful. You need to calm down and don't speak to me ever like that again," like he
Yeah.
would be so shooketh, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm never
He
messing with
knows,
her."
yeah, he knows Teresa will never be cause a storm of like,
Hmm.
Andy did this to me, or like that was so rude on like how other people have done that before. Like she would never do that, and he knows that.
Yeah. You guys, we also did a podcast earlier today. Okay, we did a
Yes.
podcast earlier today. I almost killed my husband because the podcast was at 5:30. We filmed it. And my husband was supposed to come home early. And he always comes home early from work. He always comes home like at 4. And so, of course, today this man has a meeting. And he forgot that I had this podcast episode. So I had my mom come over, and my kids run my mom. So all there is screaming. And we did a podcast episode with Carlos King. And we were actually super excited about this. And thank God, I mean, I heard my husband coming in. Hopefully, no one hears like kids screaming in the background, fighting, and all that fun stuff. But it was a good episode, Chantal. How did you feel about the Carlos King podcast?
Yeah, I loved it. He was so fun, and like I would love to do more episodes with him.
Yeah, there's lots of tea that he discusses. We asked all the questions, majority of the questions that you guys asked us to ask, and he answered all of them. So it's going to be a good episode. We're going to put that out on Friday just because we have this episode, and then we're also doing a Summer House / Vanderpump Rules reunion episode. So on Friday morning, get ready for the Carlos King podcast episode. You guys are going to love that episode. And, we're hoping to get more people on. I don't want to say names because I don't want any like hater vibes to like ruin it or something. Not hater vibes, but like, I don't know. I believe like when you say something, then people will be like, oh, I heard that she's doing this. Like, let's make sure she doesn't. I don't even know. So I don't want that to happen. But you guys, it's finally the wedding. Oh my gosh. The wedding we've been waiting for, the wedding we've been talking about since episode 1. Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, oh my
Chantel?
gosh, she did such a great job. I mean, it's not my style, and like obviously a lot of things hit home right now for me because I'm wedding or like a wedding. Hers felt like that kind of vibe because it was like outside, but it was beautiful. Her food looked amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked so beautiful. I loved everything about it. And I'm not just saying this because it's Teresa. I just thought it was a beautiful wedding. There were some things like, that I wouldn't. I'm just excited for Chantal to get married in a destination wedding because I'm so over those type of weddings because in our community, that's like kind of how our weddings are.
But
Do
not outside,
you
not like outside though. She kind of did do a little bit more extra than what we do. But like yeah, the ballroom and things like that are just something that like we've seen so many times.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But yeah, not
I
the
feel like
ceremony.
I do feel like watching it though, it gave me like such good reminders to be like intentional. I feel like her and Louie were so good about that, like making it about them, like just keep saying I love you, like connecting, all of that stuff.
I do want to say there's like a massive ant in front of me right now. Like I've never seen
Oh my
this large of
god.
an ant, and I'm in my kid's playroom and I'm about to die. So I'm just gonna pretend like it's not there because I'm so freaking scared right now, and I'm not gonna move because I'm terrified. Anyways, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There's like these like massive ants in my house, and
It's
I'm like freaking
springtime in
out.
Michigan.
Oh my god, it's so scary. I see it moving. Anyways, let me just like pick up this blanket. Okay, you guys. So let's go into the episode. So Teresa and Louie, yeah, like you said, intentional. They look so happy. And I don't care what anyone says. that's a couple that looks happy, whether you like or you don't like them. They look in love, and I love love. So I'm happy. I was cracking up when Teresa talks about getting proposed to, and apparently, I guess like the sparklers and
Yes.
fireworks went off, and she was distracted, so she wasn't listening to Louie actually proposing. And she's like so ADD, dude. Like she is like, oh my gosh, on a whole different level because like she didn't even hear him propose to her, and I was like dying at that.
Do you think she for sure knew it was happening?
I feel like every
I
person has
know.
a feeling. I really do. So unless like you've been dating for like 6 months, you're not on vacation or something or whatever, like then maybe, but I do feel like most of the time you'll have a feeling. Also, these confessionals showed me like a different side of Teresa and Louis. Like I just found myself laughing the entire episode, but it was like happy laughs. When Louis says he thinks he's in love with Teresa and she's like, "Really?" I can so imagine her saying that and I was actually cracking up.
Yeah,
Uh
they seem very genuine.
yeah, I love that Teresa had Dolores and Jennifer, but it's so sad obviously that Melissa and Joe didn't come. And what's sad is I feel like if this was part of the show, like let's say this wasn't a special, I feel like they would have showed up and they would have came. And again, they didn't have to do this special. Bravo did not have to do the special, because they had just ended the season 2 days prior, so they could have still made it part of the season. But they like did something nice for Teresa by saying, "Hey, we'll give you a special," when they really didn't have to. And I feel like Melissa and Joe were just so salty about that. And that's probably why they didn't go or have any intent on going because they didn't like that she was getting her own special. And they're just like salty people. Teresa said that they,
I feel like we shouldn't even talk about them since, like, they didn't want me to talk about them on the wedding day. Like, that should be a good
yeah,
rule for us because 'cause I'm over them. They shouldn't even
well,
get any attention.
sure. But I'm totally recapping like what happened and about, so we're going to have to talk
I
about
know, but
them.
I don't wanna mention them, like,
I
they're
know. Okay.
losers.
Okay. Well, so Teresa said it was hard telling her daughters that those people we're not going to mention aren't coming. And Gabriella asks if, okay, Voldemort. Whoa. Okay. If Zio blank called or texted Teresa and she says no. And I think it's fine they didn't show up, but to not even communicate is so low. And let's not forget that Joe and Melissa, they both knew about this rumor 6 months ago. So for them to act like they are mad about a rumor and that's the reason that they didn't come, it's just all ridiculous. But we do meet Teresa and Louis' wedding, and she said, I don't know what the hell I wrote here, you guys. Jesus Christ. I think someone did write a review about her notes reading, by the way. I'm sorry. You guys, we already filmed the podcast earlier. I'm trying here. No, okay. So we saw that Teresa and Louis said that at the wedding, they, we see the bridal party and that they made sure that they picked everyone who actually loved and supported them from day one. And is it me or like was like Louis' groomsman kind of handsome? Did you
Okay,
not
what I
catch
just
that?
wrote down having anxiety from how many groomsmen he picks. Like, I'm not even letting Vale pick more than, like, 4.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. There was like 13 of them, no? I feel like
Yeah.
that's such like an American thing to get. I feel like it's such an American thing to have so many people in your wedding, but like also he's like 50, so like is it necessary to have that many people? I don't know. But maybe like when you don't feel like your first wedding was done right, you want your second wedding and you want your like ride or dies to be in it. Cause at this point, these are people who are gonna be in your life forever. Like sometimes when we get married in our 20s, those people are not gonna be in your life forever. By the way, I did want to say that you guys asked and requested that we do a podcast of like a flashback of previous interviews that we've had with like let's say Melissa Gorga's maid of honor and her ex-boyfriend, and we are going to do that, but we're going to do that after all the reunion airs, and then we'll do an episode about that because I know so many of you guys are messaging and saying, can you guys do like a deep dive about all that? And I was like, absolutely we will. So we are going to do that. Gia sits with Jennifer and Dolores, and Jennifer asks how Teresa has been behind the scenes. And Gia says the only thing that stressed her was her uncle. And same, like Joe has stressed me over the last couple years. So I feel you on that, Gia. And in a confessional, Gia says that she was shocked when she heard Princess Gorga wasn't coming and that him not coming burned the bridge. And I agree, there's no going back from that. Gia says it's over for everyone. Dolores says it's been hard to see the kids get affected. And then Jennifer, she's so damn funny because she asked the question, like, what's going on behind the scenes? And then she's like, well, let's just concentrate on, what's best. And I'm like, well, Jennifer, you
She
just asked that
she did that a
question.
few times.
I know, Jennifer, messy Jennifer over here. I loved seeing Louie's parents and meeting his family. We even find out that Louie's dad is a recovering alcoholic, and I got so emotional when Louie's dad said that they have been blessed, and now they're like beyond blessed with Teresa entering the family, because that's the family we all want to marry into, and I love that. And it reminded me of my father-in-law. I thought it was really, really sweet, and I feel like that's how my father-in-law, like, he says things like that, and I was like, that is so sweet. And
You
then,
can tell he is a family man, like, even with his
yeah,
parents,
hmm,
his own kids, his siblings,
yeah,
like,
like he
he
loves them.
yeah, exactly.
Teresa reads this emotional text message from her girlfriend Angie. Chanel, did you know that Angie is the same girl who did the Turkish reading?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she was the girl who literally did the Turkish reading. She was
Oh, I'm
that
saying no way, like, that's the girl, that's her, like, really good
Yeah.
friend?
Yeah, like she she was the one who did it, and they were like, and she said endorsements, and then they were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's really sweet then she's, like, telling her, like, "Your parents are
Right, yeah,
here,"
no,
you
it
know?
was sweet. She had a message, from her parents, and they were
I
saying, like,
always cry.
yeah, they were saying, "Don't get emotional," and Teresa starts bawling, and, it's so funny because I don't know if you noticed this, but in the, like, previews, Bravo made it like Teresa was crying about Joe,
I'm so
and
happy it wasn't, like, thank
yeah,
God, because he does
yeah,
not even deserve an ounce of tear from her on her wedding
yeah.
day.
Teresa's makeup princess, and you can see Gabriella get extremely irritated by this. She says in her confessional, if Teresa's brother chose not to be there, then he shouldn't be in any discussions throughout the day. And obviously, we both agree with her on that. Jennifer, to me, she's such a thoughtful friend because she had something custom made with Teresa's parents that Teresa can
So
pin. Yeah,
nice.
that was so nice. As she walks down the aisle, and during her sit down with Teresa, she tells Teresa that she's sorry about all the drama. About her telling Danielle about the cheating rumor with Melissa, and she feels like she played a part in them not coming. And Teresa says, it's not your fault. They made their decision. And damn, we haven't seen the side of Gabriella before.
Oh my god, I was so scared, and, like but no,
Yeah.
Melania was the one that was
I
screaming.
know. Yeah, we hear. Yeah, we
Yeah.
hear. We hear. No, well, we hear Gabriella say she better not be talking about my uncle, and
Yeah.
Gabriella is not okay. And in her,
She was the most affected out
I
of everyone.
know. And in the confessional, Melania says, it's a really sensitive topic, and yeah, it was probably poor timing of Jennifer to do, but Teresa does tell Jennifer it's okay and everything happens for a reason. And then Gabriella, back to Gabriella, she's shocking us all. We've seen more of her emotions here than we have the last 13 years.
Yeah.
She starts crying, and then Melania is screaming, why is she crying? Why is my sister crying? Like, I didn't even know that
They
was
better not be talking.
Melania.
Yeah, no, she's like, "They better not be talking, like, why is she crying?"
I
I was
got
like, "Oh my
scared.
god." I
Yeah.
was literally scared if I was Jennifer, and Jennifer at the very end goes, "Sorry," like, they didn't
Yeah.
show
Oh
her.
my gosh.
"I'm sorry."
Which made me wonder, the way she said sorry, I don't know, I just, like, wonder, did producers tell her to go and ask Joe?
Yeah, because
Uh
like, they didn't even show her, so she probably was like pointing to them, like, "I'm sorry," like, like the
Yeah,
projection.
yes, and that was also a thing. That was also the thing. I got scared for a second. Gabriella, she's emotional. She says, "I just don't want to hear his name." Teresa runs out, and she reassures the kids that they weren't talking about her brother. And we hear Melania say, "We don't want his name mentioned, and you don't know how upset my mom is." And then, like you said, Jennifer, she says sorry, but it's crazy because producers aren't capturing this. Meaning, the girls weren't messing around. They didn't want to be recorded, and I feel like that could have happened because producers told Jennifer to ask. And then all of a sudden the girl said, what did you tell Jennifer to do? We're not bringing him up. And then they were like, we refuse to get filmed because it was weird. Why were they in the other room? Why were they not filming this?
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
That
That's
makes
just
sense
my
though.
theory.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense actually.
Because I mean, like, why would Jennifer ask about that? That's
Yeah,
like
it's her.
weird.
She comes in with positive vibes, and then she goes in like has a gift, and then asks her like no one
But you
cares,
could
and then
tell she's uncomfortable,
yeah,
like, saying it.
and then apologizes when you know it's not even your fault. Like they've been knowing for 6 months. Like it's not your fault. Move on.
And Jennifer's like pretty self-aware. So I'm like, again, I'm just like shook that she would ask that. So that's my theory on it. Tell me if you guys agree or disagree. Teresa explains that especially with Joe gone, Juicy Joe gone, her daughters are very protective of her, and all they have is each other. And I think it's beautiful how strong their bond is. Louie's groomsmen, I wrote they're kind of handsome. Is it just me? Okay. Well, Chantal was just you skipped that. You just talked about how he has so many.
Yeah, I mean, because I didn't pay attention. They're, like, older. They're his, like, business partners. Like,
Okay.
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 Like, no
Okay.
one, like, stood out.
All right. So you don't find men like attractive unless they're what, Frankie Jr.'s age? Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Ew.
I really do like younger men.
I don't. Okay. So, although Frankie Jr. is the exception. Anyways, Bill definitely is so funny and probably dying inside that he's walking in this wedding.
Yeah, like, he's, like, the
Dying.
odd man
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, like I can like see like that's just like how Middle Eastern guys are. They'd be like who else is walking though? Like why am I walking? It's fine if you're walking. I can watch you while you walk down the aisle. Anyway, we see Teresa's hair getting done, and Lucia, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. Her hairstylist, she's really talented because I don't know how the hell she was able to do all of that.
I don't know, but, like, the way that everyone was trying to be so nice, even though they were dying and, like, being like, "What the hell is this? Like, how did she do this?" Like, I can't.
Yeah, because when Jennifer sees her hair, she is shook like the rest of America, and she's like, "The hair's supposed to be an accent piece, not the main event."
Yeah.
And I was like laughing, but I don't know what I was feeling. I was just at a loss for words, like the rest of everybody. Gabriella says her hair looks like a rat's nest. I was
Yeah.
dying. Dolores says she would have liked it to be a little lower, and she would. What I would have liked was to see two different hair looks, but I feel like it was impossible with all the time
It would have
spent.
taken her literally 2 more
Yeah.
hours to get that all down and,
And
like, done.
it's already so hard with like all the pictures you're taking. You're barely even at your own wedding.
I don't
So
wanna take pictures of my wedding.
I know. I swear. You know what? Because you're having it at a tropical wedding, you should like take pictures the day before. I've seen
Oh,
people do that. I don't know.
no.
Cause no, honestly, it takes so much time. And then you're just like, you're irritated because all those pictures. We see Margaret, messy Margaret, walk in. And it's like, why are you even here, Margaret? And then
No,
Jackie,
her and Jackie, why are you guys there? Like, I'm
yeah.
so mad Teresa invited them. I don't care if
Hmm.
production made her. I don't know. Why are you guys there? I was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jackie's ass walked in, and then Margaret tells Jill Zarin that she told her mom not to come because Melissa's mom wasn't invited. And it's like, then Margaret,
Jill
why
Zarin
are
doesn't
you there?
care. Shut up.
Yeah, and why are you there? You aren't making a statement not bringing your mom. You coming proved how thirsty you were.
And it proves me more when we talk about it more towards the end when she leaves or, like, says, like, "I
Oh
need to
my
leave." It's like, you're so dramatic. Like,
gosh.
you
So
all you do is for
dramatic.
freaking TV.
Yeah. We do see Frank and Brittany, and it sucks because, again, Frank was on good terms with Louie at this point and was even on good terms with Louie up until the end of March. So none of this is making sense with what we saw at the reunion. I do think it was nice to see Margaret get emotional than to have a stink face. I will say that when everyone was walking down the aisle. And I love so much when Teresa's walked down and Louis complimented every one of them and called each one
Yeah.
of them beautiful.
It was so
I think
sweet.
that's so beautiful. Yeah, that's so sweet. Also, I died with Dolores walking down the aisle and waving. Like, what the
Yeah, who
F?
was she
Like,
who
what
was
are
she
you
waving
doing?
was she waving to her man? Like, who was she
What
waving
are you
to?
doing? You're walking down the aisle. You can say hello to people after. I've never seen people do that. I'd be like, excuse me, sit back. But I thought it was funny. It was cute,
Everything
but
everything I was watching, like, they were all dying from the heat, so I was, like, Googling, like, handheld heat fans, like, the way that Teresa had before she, like, walked out.
yeah.
I'm like, "This is gonna be a disaster."
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, hopefully it's like windy, and I feel like when it's windy, I feel like when it's just the sun, ugh, it is miserable. But if it's windy, it's okay. We'll
Yeah.
see. To be determined for that for you. I was dying in Louis' confessional. He couldn't hold his laugh in when he discussed Teresa's hair. But I love that he embraced it.
He
He's
was so
like,
supportive. She's like,
yeah.
she loved it, that's what she did, I'm there for it."
Yeah, I feel like my husband would dead ass be
Ma
like,
Val would literally probably not say, "I do."
yeah, no, no, my husband would be like, babe, why'd you do that? Like, I swear he would. He would have been like, babe. And I'd be like, what? Like, don't talk about this right now. Don't like ruin my wedding. But I feel like I would do the same thing. Like, I probably wouldn't say anything, but if my husband did something like, dramatic, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Why didn't you talk about this with me? We could have
I just
discussed
think
this.
I just think for her, like, at the moment, it's iconic, like, she's on the show, it's iconic, like, it's
Yeah.
her, but then,
It's
like,
so her.
10 years from now, like, are you gonna be like, "What in the world?"
I feel like she's gonna be like, yeah, I did that. Like, whereas then we'd
Okay.
be like,
So then, yeah,
what was
then
I
there you go,
thinking?
yeah.
Their vows are sweet, and I just love that they're both so good to each other's children. They're involving them in everything. Margaret said all she could think about was that everyone is at Teresa Giudice's wedding and Joan and Melissa aren't. And it's like, yeah, because you're doing, and again, if you wanted to make a stand, make a statement. You don't come, but you came because you would have had FOMO if you didn't. You knew there was going to be a lot of reality stars there. You knew it was going to be the talk of the town. So you came. So it's like, if you came, then just come and be supportive, and that's it.
Exactly.
And this is why I F with Jen Fessler. And even Jackie had some common sense here.
Yeah.
Margaret says she feels like she needs to go home and can't dance the party away knowing the Gorkas aren't coming. And that tells me that Margaret feels guilty because if she never opened her mouth about this rumor, they would be there, which we all know they probably still wouldn't have come. But to show her loyalty for opening her mouth, she wants to leave. But again, why did you come? When Fessler and Jackie say Margaret needs to separate the two, she gets mad that they aren't agreeing with her. So she doesn't want to talk about it anymore and walks away all dramatic. But it's like, again, why are you there?
Don't ruin Fessler's time and don't ruin our time. Like people actually want to enjoy, dance, eat, like then leave. Go by yourself,
Yeah.
get an Uber.
Yeah. Dolores also doesn't agree with Margaret saying that she's going to leave. She says she can make a stand, do it next week. It's about Teresa and Louie. And I don't know, Bravo executives, producers, you guys gave Margaret way too much confessionals, way too much talk time. And that's exactly why Margaret came, because that's exactly what she wanted. She wanted, she didn't want to miss out on being a part of the show, being the center of attention. And of course, if you're going to constantly speak negatively about the party or like who's not there, you're going to be shown a lot because producers want that. So Margaret knows what she's doing, and I'm over it. I'm freaking over it. I was really disappointed in all of that, and I'm disappointed that Teresa has done so much for Bravo, and she's been an open book. Let them film everything of her, and like look what they do on the one special day is they make a lot of it about Margaret. We then see everyone get an alert on their phone, and it's about Princess Gorka throwing shade on social media. Imagine your brother being so low on your wedding day, trashing you on social media with his wife and her family, who have picked on you for years,
Disgusting.
like they did with Teresa. They have said the most horrible things about her, and her brother is now taunting her on social media because Princess Gorka is freaking out that he doesn't have the attention, that the attention is supposed to be on Teresa on her big day. So he wants to ruin it, and he wants people to talk about him because he knows this will make headlines and have people talking at the wedding. And that's exactly what happened. And it's pathetic. I don't know how anyone would be okay with a brother doing this to you on your wedding day.
If you're a good brother, you would, and you actually even cared a little bit, even for her kids, if you care so much about your nieces or anybody, you would never sit there and do that.
Never. And if you,
Ever.
even if you cared about your parents who are looking down on you, you would be like,
He
I'm
doesn't
not going to do
care.
this. He
You think he
doesn't.
cares?
No, he doesn't. He forgets. He will care when he's on his deathbed. I promise you that. And when he's like freaking out, he's going to care. Yeah. But no, right now he doesn't. Louis sees what Joe is doing and he snaps. He knows his now wife is in so much pain, and here Joe and Melissa are on social media taunting the bride. But Louis did the right thing and he didn't tell Teresa about it. And I'm sure it's so hard for him to have like kept that in.
Yeah. I would like I would run right away to them and be like, "Did you see this?"
Yeah, what you're saying, you would have went and told Teresa right
Yeah,
away?
yeah, because, like, if you're mad I mean, it's right that he didn't, but if you're mad, you're just gonna be like, "Look, like, this is another reason why we should be happy they're not even here." Like, kind of, like, more as reassurance.
Yeah, like I'm the worst. I don't know if this is a Taurus thing in me. I was messaging someone today on AllAboutTRH, and they were talking about our signs. I don't like know much about our signs, but they say that Taurus are very confrontational,
Yeah.
and not in like a problematic way, but like they just like at least for me, oh my gosh, the ants, sorry, but at least for me, I would rather talk about it because I don't want to hold on to things because then it just adds up. And I would have just like confronted, not, I mean, maybe I would have texted my brother and been like, you're a pussy ass beat. I would have went off on my
On your
freaking
wedding
brother.
day, probably not.
No, I wouldn't on my wedding day. But yeah, I would have immediately went up to my husband and be like, do you want to know what this mother effer just did? Do you want, and my husband would be like, let's not talk about it. And I'm like, no, let's talk about it. But yeah, the way Margaret snuck out was disgusting. It was
Ugh.
classless. And I feel bad for Jen Fessler because you could tell she wanted to stay, but then she has this loyalty to Margaret and she's like scared of Margaret.
I hope she realizes and then she just doesn't have that loyalty to her. You don't
I,
need to. You're her friend. You don't need to have sit there and, like, back her up for every little
co-sign everything.
thing.
Yeah. And I will say,
Yeah.
like, I do like Jen Fessler a lot. And I think Bravo is very impressed with Jen Fessler. And I like that even though she's friends with Margaret, she's like, that's not right. And she's done this a couple of times now. And we got to give her credit for that. She really has done this a couple of times. And I don't think Margaret's used to that because Jackie never did that. Melissa absolutely doesn't do that. Maybe like low key. And Dolores does it. I mean, Dolores said really, you don't need to leave. Like, sometimes she'll call out Margaret, but for the most part, she doesn't either.
She's really good at playing neutral.
Yeah. Little Olivia was crying
Oh my
when Teresa and
God.
Louie walked out. I loved her. Did you like Teresa's gowns, Chantal? I was gonna call you Charlie. Did you like Teresa?
I think I like the first one more than the second one. The second one was like too like bohemian for me, but like she looked gorgeous.
Bohemian?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't catch that vibe. I
Yeah,
felt
like
like it
off the
was like
shoulders, like fairy tale princessy bohemian, like that type of look.
I felt like it was like vintage or not vintage.
No.
What is that thing that we go to in the summer where we eat that big like big
No.
the big
Like
turkey?
Renaissance,
Yeah, the
Renaissance.
Renaissance. Here we go. I felt like it was kind of Renaissance, you know? I did feel like
No.
that. I think she looked beautiful. Was my style? No. But yeah, I do think she did look beautiful.
Yeah, like no matter what, even like though her dress wasn't her style, her hair, like she still looked gorgeous. Like she was like a
Oh,
gorgeous
her and
bride.
her
And her
makeup,
makeup. Oh
Priscilla did
my
an
God. Priscilla,
incredible
can you please
job.
come to my wedding?
Yeah, because she did an amazing job. I love the bridesmaid dresses. I love the bridesmaid dress color. I love the wedding colors, the flowers, I just like loved everything about it. I was a little bit scared about the dancers. Oh,
Oh, the dancers, the cake was like a little too much.
yeah. I don't know.
I
I
just
don't remember
wanted
seeing
to
the
eat
cake.
at the cocktail hour. Like
Oh
everything was
my
like this.
gosh,
There was
the
like this
amount of
prosciutto
food.
tree. It was like amazing.
How much do you think that wedding cost?
Oh, for sure, 300,000.
Ugh, my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
stressful. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was beautiful. But
And that's like the venues and stuff gave some things for free because it's a wedding they knew, but doubt it.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too extreme. Like, we're not talking about a birthday here, you know?
Yeah.
Teresa says she feels the love and she can tell that everyone there is just so happy for them. And yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm so happy that the Gorkas didn't come because, again, it would have been negative energy. Can you imagine all the facial expressions they would have throughout the wedding? Even when Teresa's walking down the aisle, nothing would have been genuine. And then
Yeah.
it would have been like the guys like on Joe Gorka's asshole, and they would not be able to like walk away from him. It would be like clicks. And I hate that. I hate that feeling when I'm at a party and you feel like there's clicks or there's like people who are just talking to like the same group. Like, Chanel, I feel like we've been in that situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, can you guys like just like talk to everybody that's here versus like making it like clicks, one in the corner, things of that sort.
Especially when it's like negative, it's like negative talk with
Yeah,
people, like if,
exactly.
you're gonna hang out with your friends, of course, and you're hanging out with your people, but when it's like negative, like that's when I can't handle it.
I cried when the girls started saying their speech, and Teresa just says she's so happy she gets to show her daughters what a good man is like. And Melania's speech was the best. I just love how her kids are her biggest cheerleader, and I think every mom strives to have that. Like, I pray to God that my girls look at me like that. They want to protect me. They have my back, and then I'm obviously so protective over my children. I pray that I have that. I think that's a
I think it's
mom's
so
dream.
beautiful.
That's what you
Yeah.
want. Like, you want that. Any mom who like says, why does Gia speak up or why does she say stuff, like, you probably wish your daughter would do that. Okay. So I don't think, and honestly, Gia is very respectful all the time when she does speak up. She's just talking. And if you guys go look on All About TRH Instagram and even on our All About TRH TikTok, we posted a clip of Melissa. Did you see that, Chantal?
Yeah, talking about Gia, of course.
Yeah, she was talking about Gia with that guy, Michael Rapoport. What's his name? Michael Rapoport?
Rapper.
Repar?
Rap
I don't know. Whatever.
rapper.
He's like, what is he? I don't even know what he does. And she's literally laughing. And she's like, he's like saying, I don't know, he called the kids a monster or something. And she's laughing at it. And she's like, who, Melania? Melania is Teresa's mini me. And she's obviously saying that in a bad tone. Like, she obviously does not like Teresa. And she's saying that Melania is her mini me. Then they continue to talk about Gia. And when Michael Rapapa starts talking about Margaret, she was like, well, back to Gia. And it's
Yeah.
like, you guys, how do you expect people like Gia not to respond to someone like this who talks about her on the podcast? And Melissa is so smart because she does these things on her podcast, or she does these things like behind the scenes, not on the show. So for people who don't keep up with that, which a lot of people don't keep up with that, they just watch the show. They're like, look at Melissa, poor victim. Yeah, Teresa should have never said Antonia's name when she was asked about the children. But here we have Melissa laughing at Gia and Melania, letting someone talk about her nieces. It's such a joke. It really, really is. But
Karma's
Yeah.
gonna come to her so hard, and she's not even know what hit her.
I just don't understand how Bravo producers are even thinking for a second, like we should have them all back. Which again, no one knows anything, but if they are thinking that, how are you guys thinking that all these years later? Even when we talked to Carlos King on our podcast, which again we're going to release on Friday, you guys do not want to miss that episode. He even said, like, I stopped watching episode 2 because I'm over it, and it's like we all are. So I don't understand it. Let's and the reunion, we're gonna all get so pissed at the reunion when nothing is discussed but Melissa, Teresa, and Louie. I don't care. Oh yeah, what did you think about Teresa saying you're gonna leave? Ooh, a little scare.
Oh yeah. Well, she's confident. Like she knows her worth. Like, yeah, you are gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave. Just watch out.
And
I
you,
mean, I feel like when you are too confident, though, Bravo will like try to like ice your ass. But I just hope like it really does go into her favor.
yeah, I don't know. I do too. I'm just like pissed at Andy for backing Princess Gorga. I'm about to go on a Twitter rant because I'm not happy. I'm really not happy.
You preach, girl.
I know, but yeah, I mean, anything else from the wedding, Chantal, that you saw that?
No.
Yeah, it was a cute special. I loved it. I'm invested in Teresa's family. I'm invested in her
We
daughters.
love the daughters.
Yeah, her daughters. I'm invested in Louie's family. I love them. I would love to see more of them. I'm invested in the friendships. I thought it was a great episode. It was really good. So yeah, I was
Like I
feeling
could
it.
so see a spin-off of even like, mixing a family because like they're older. It's not like kids, getting mixed in, like, and but I just feel like the kids are so private, they wouldn't want to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but now Gia's gonna be home from college. Gabriella's leaving, but yeah, I guess we'll see. To be continued. I mean, it was there, there wasn't really that much to report on this. It was like a beautiful time. I don't want to take over her wedding by talking about like negative stuff. So,
That's
you
what I
guys,
said.
yeah, okay, wow. So, yeah, tomorrow we will be recording, or actually, I'm sorry. So we will publish this for Wednesday, and then our next episode will be Summer House Vanderpump Rules reunion. Chantal, make sure you watch the Summer House premiere, or I mean, season finale. And then we will post our Carlos King podcast, but that's about it. So thank you guys so much for listening. Please be sure to leave us a 5-star review. Even if you have feedback, leave us a 5-star and just leave
Yeah,
the
people are
feedback on
coming
there.
after me, you guys. So please,
Yeah,
give us
you
5
guys,
stars.
lately, oh, what is it? The tables have
Yeah.
turned. People are coming for Chantal. They're giving her some constructive criticism, and she's like, I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
you.
really don't care.
I'm like, I get like affected, and I'm like, well, why? Like, okay, like, what should I change about myself? And Chantal's like, I don't care. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah. Maybe some of it is constructive for the both of us, though. Okay. So maybe we need to take that feedback and we'll implement that feedback.
I mean, when people say like you do all the work and I don't, like, I mean, yeah, you've been doing this for like 15 years. Like, I'm just a person that watches it. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Well, damn, someone does seem like she is a little bit triggered,
Yeah,
Margaret.
maybe.
Okay. Yeah, just a little. So yes, please leave us 5-star feedback in there too if you need to. But thank you guys so much for listening. And
Thanks, guys.
yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Be sure to check out AllAboutTRH.com for everything Real Housewives and Bravo TV. And please make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at AllAboutTRH Podcast.